Welcome to this week's episode of Lagnapod. I'm your host, Rob Holbert, along with some folks who want to introduce themselves, right?
Ashley Trake.
Grant McLaughlin.
Scott Johnson.
Kyle Hamrick.
Tommy Hicks.
All right, we cut down on the silliness this week. That's good. This
is a serious newspaper.
This is serious. So this week, this cover, probably going to be a little off-putting to some people. We got a snake on the cover. And the concept here this week is like what to do if you get bit by one. Is that right, Kyle?
That's right. What to do if you get bit by a snake, because sometimes folks have gotten bit by a very venomous snake and had to go to the zoo to get the antivenom that they need to survive. Fortunately, I talked to some snake experts and some doctors. That is not likely to be the case here unless you get bit by a snake from like Asia or Africa or someplace.
An illegal snake.
An illegal snake. It is illegal to have
Or
a very
pet snake.
or well
If
An
you-
illegal pet snake.
an illegal
It would
pet
be-
snake, or a snake that
Yes,
that
it
has
would be an
come here
illegal snake.
illegally.
So that's what prompted this story. Is I read a story about some other place about
South
people
Carolina.
who get these exotic snakes and get bit by them, and then they don't have anywhere to go to get antivenom except for zoos, which might be hundreds of miles away.
Right.
And I thought, well, I wonder if we have any of that going on around here, but also just the concept that it is springtime and the snakes start moving around, and I see them out in my backyard occasionally. Some big water moccasins run around out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just thought, well, what if you get bit around here? Is there somewhere specific we need to go, or can you just go anywhere?
You need to go to the ER as quickly as you can get there. You have some time, but when you get bit by a cottonmouth or a copperhead or a rattlesnake, the venom starts to break your flesh down.
Yeah.
On the very rare instance that you get bit by a coral snake, the red on yellow
Do we have those around here?
Yes, but they're very rare. They haven't been seen for a while.
Yeah.
So they're out there. They're waiting on.
They're out in the bay.
They no, that's a sea snake. That's a sea snake. A coral snake just kind of looks like it's coral. It's red, yellow,
I've
black.
seen them. Yeah. What's the little rhyme?
The red on yellow, kill a fellow. Red on black, from Friend of Jack. That's a king snake. If it's red on black, you're fine. You're not. I mean, you might get bit, but it'll just hurt.
But if there's a yellow line between the red and black,
there's a yellow line and you
Run
get
away.
bit,
Run away.
that venom's going straight to your nervous.
I'm running
system.
away from any snake.
That's what you should do. That's what everybody I talked to said you should do, is just give the snake some room. But if you are bit by one, don't try to suck the venom out. Don't do a tourniquet.
Don't do anything you
And
saw in a cowboy movie,
the
right?
craziest thing that I learned was some people think that if you hook yourself up to a car and zap yourself with the battery, it'll suck the venom out.
And we are encouraging that. Right?
We are not.
No, we're not
encouraging that.
We're-
That is not. You should not do that if you're bit by
If you
a
are
snake.
so inclined,
Yeah.
get the jumper cables. I got bit.
Jumper cables. Yeah, we got to zap the venom.
Hook these up to my nipples and let's go.
Yeah, let's go. No, you're not supposed to do
Crank
that.
the car. We're going to need some extra power.
No.
Do we know if John Merrill tried this out?
I mean, just
We don't know.
bizarre.
I had never heard that one before. Some
so
doctor told me that, and I said, that is the insanest thing I've ever heard.
There years and years ago, now we're off on a tangent, but years and years ago, I went to a place called Lake Toxaway in North Carolina, I believe.
Wow.
And they had this book. It was a cabin and there was all this mountain lore in the cabin, and they had all this whole section about hoop snakes.
Yes.
About snakes that supposedly put their tail in their mouth and
like
roll,
an Ouroboros.
and they roll down the hill at you, and they have a sticker on the end of their tail,
That's right.
and they'll stave you, is what they said.
They'll stave you.
Yeah, and it said, if they stave you, that the only cure is to drink all day long. You don't get drunk, you get cured.
Yeah.
That was the advice.
You can drink as much as you want, but you won't get drunk.
That's sort of the precursor to the hook yourself up to a battery.
I've heard that lore too. That's some really
Hoop snakes.
rural stuff about
that's
the
very
hoop
rural.
snakes.
You can get a leech to suck out the venom too.
Yeah, you could do that, but then you'd have to get a tetanus shot after getting bit by a leech.
Anyway, I'm so glad we've got that part. I'm glad you included that part about the car batteries because that'll help stop some of that.
Yeah, I think we might save lives.
The light tip bites. Do not use any of these methods.
Do not use any of those.
How many? I can't remember in the story how many snake bites they said they're dealing with in the county a year.
It is very small. It's like a handful a month. It does appear to be more than shark attacks.
Do we need an alert?
We do need a snake alert.
If we are going by the logic of the shark one, we absolutely are overdue for a snake alert. Okay. We are absolutely overdue for a snake bite going by the rationale of the shark alert.
Well, it's a good story. It's interesting. They got a couple of guys in there that handle the snakes and go out and they don't want you to kill the snake. They just want to. They'll come get them for you.
Which that goes against how I was raised because every snake growing up was a bad snake and you had to kill them. I've killed plenty of snakes.
My rhyme is kind of see a snake, kill a snake. Yeah. That's sort of the way.
Or a spade. You can get you a spade out there or a hoe and kill them.
A stick.
Yeah. A hoe is the preferred method.
Yeah, hoes are really good for killing snakes.
I threw a waterlogged piece of wood at a snake one time that might have been 2 inches long and killed it, and it was the best throw of my life.
Can
it was
you imagine what
When's the last time you
it was an amazing throw. I saw one not that long ago down the big one, big water moccasin.
Well, you live on the water. Yeah, the only ones that I saw a water moccasin in a creek. Yeah. That's the last.
I saw a little garter snake in my yard. I went after it with a city snake.
City-fied
I went after it with my weed whacker because I was cutting grass at the time, and we got to get rid of them.
Well, that's also probably one of the things that we recommend here. Go after them with a weed whacker.
Yeah,
the weed whacker's undefeated against snakes. I feel certain. Well, it's a good story, folks. Check it out if you're at all concerned about snakes or just want to know more about it. We've been dealing with some weirdness all day today. Here it's Wednesday as we record this. There was a bomb threat out at Spring Hill College, and so we've had that kind of going on all day. What's the latest on that, Scott?
Yeah, there's a couple lockdowns at St. Paul's, Spring Hill College, and according to the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, a woman was detained later today and allegedly had threatened students at both schools, and with the quote that all children deserve to die a sinner's death.
So we don't really know if it was a bomb or a shooting threat. It was just
very unspecific. We don't know the medium of how that threat
was reported as a bomb threat first, then it went to a shooting threat, then it back to a bomb threat. We're not real sure.
There was a shelter-in-place warning at St. Paul's, and so the Sheriff's Office showed up, Mobile Police Department showed up. I understand that the police department now has the investigation. The woman involved is her name's Rocio Hilpert, and she's a local audiologist.
Yeah, that's
also
she's the one alleged to have done it.
Yeah, very alleged to have called it in or whatever it was that she did. But she very prominent, outspoken Catholic woman according to her social media page. Also has I think she has connections to Spring Hill College as well. So.
Hopefully that, I'm sure that it was nothing, but just probably some personal issues.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then one of the other things that came down this week is a ruling in the Big Creek Lake saga. And where are we on that?
Well, it was I think
couple of rulings.
Deterring a ruling.
Yes.
There's a settlement agreement. So, and this, we've got it here.
He's
waving
the ruling.
The documents.
The papers.
There you go. Some good sound effects.
The Big Creek Lake has obviously, they declared that it was permanently closed in February last year.
Moz did.
Yes, Moz. And then that kind of spiraled into a whole bunch of series of events and run-ins with different agencies, particularly the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, who they got into this disagreement that Moz says that they own the lake and that it was dammed up and created from Big Creek River,
right?
Through their money, through their bonds, and that they own the lake. Well, Alabama Department of Conservation says, no, it's a navigable waterway. We own the lake under state law. And
they get into the whole issue of navigable water versus private or a owned reservoir type situation. And so they've come up with a solution.
So without losing those two positions, neither of them have to admit they were wrong, or a judge doesn't have to decide which one's wrong. They are saying, we're going to lease the lake from the state.
They're going to lease the land under the lake, right?
Under the lake. And yes, essentially he kind of just completely circumvents the whole controversy that this lease agreement will now allow them to control the lake, and both state and Moz can still kind of claim ownership to
So at the same time, the law, I guess the not lawsuit, but the prosecution of Andy, what's Andy's last name? Ellsworth,
yeah,
who was out there trespassing, according to Moz, got arrested. He's been charged with a misdemeanor. They dropped that.
Yeah, around the same hour as the settlement's filed. There's the DA, says we're going to null process this, drop it.
Which led to a lot of celebration from the people who want to fish on the lake in their own boats. But it seems to me that's a premature celebration.
Yeah, because the settlement agreement with the lease is, okay, we'll lease it to you, but you also have to open it up. You're going to have to, you're going to...
Oh, it is going to be opened.
Well, it's going to be opened with
rules.
With rules. So they're going to open it, and they're going to offer their own...
But that's been the story.
Yeah.
There's nothing new there.
Well, this, at least in some form or fashion, this ensures that they have to...
They can't shut it all the way down.
They have to continue providing this service.
But Moz has been saying they were going to do this.
This has been their plan. Yeah.
I mean, Moz is, as far as, I mean, maybe at one point they claimed they were going to shut it down. That's it. But I mean, for a long time, the whole thing has been, we're not going to let you bring your own boats in there, but we're going to build a place to rent boats. We're going to build piers to fish off of. We're going to allow people to go out here and recreate on the water, but they have to recreate the way we want them to recreate. And I'm going to use recreate way too many times, but that's,
that's correct. I just went and saw it. They've got a good little pier out there. They got some boats, some motor boats you can rent. Now,
so they have it all out there now.
They have it all out there,
done.
But you can bring your own boat to the property as long as it's a kayak.
Okay.
They have a kayak wash zone where you have to get it chemically rinsed off before it can go into the lake, and then it's got to be cleaned off. For $10, you can take your kayak out there and boat all the live long day.
Or you can rent a kayak out there.
You could rent one for a couple bucks. Or you could
Is it cheaper to rent a kayak, or is it cheaper to go wash your kayak?
I think it's the same price.
Seems it's the same price to rent or to bring your own.
Okay.
The kayak seems to be the option that I would go with, because you can rent a motorboat out there for like $50 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Which if you want to do that, you can, but the kayak one seems to be the move for me. But they have all of this built, and this is the way Bud McCrory, the director of Moz, said today that this was a compromise, a way to agree to disagree with the state without getting into who owns the navigability and all that.
Well, so the bottom line, though, is, as I watched, the statements from people online under Ellsworth, after he was released, when you did a story on it, he wrote that we're going to be out this weekend fishing on the lake in my boat. But that's not going to work, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, yeah, it'll be according to, they have a contract with Mobile County Sheriff's Office.
Right.
Yeah.
To, police and patrol the lake. So I would imagine that this extends to their lease.
That's exactly right. That's what Moz said
But
today.
We're going to get right back into this. If the fishermen out there go on to Big Creek Lake with their boats, are they going to get arrested again?
Yeah, if they don't go through the proper channels,
I'm just saying, if they go out there and come from the north part down the creek like they did before, without going through the wash and all that other stuff, or without renting a boat, they're going to get arrested, I would think, right?
They could run that risk, it seems like to me, from what Moz said today.
If they don't get arrested, then this doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah. Because Moz said that Moz is not going to be on the lake and seeing who's where and who's in a boat. But they said that the sheriffs, they'll be doing their patrols and making sure that everybody's following the rules.
It's just to me, we're sort of back in the same boat. We're back in the same place. It's like
whether it's been washed or not, we're in the same boat.
It could be an unwashed boat. We're in the same boat. But I mean, it just seems like we're going to be right back where it was, and that at some point, if there's a whole bunch of boats out there that are private boats that have not gone through any wash of any sort, Moz is going to have the same risk that they said they've been trying to avoid,
right?
Yeah,
which is of course having invasive species showing up in the drinking water.
And now the way it is going to work, though, it is to note here. So the controlled boating and fishing is only going to be open for Wednesday through Sunday. But on Monday and Tuesday, they said that Moz is going to be out there spraying the lake with some stuff to kill the invasive
pesticides.
Species, right? Some pesticides. So they're still going to be doing that. They're still going to be.
So don't drink water on what days?
They are going to treat them. They're going to filter it through. But Mondays and Tuesdays is when the spraying is going to take place. You can arrange your drinking around that schedule.
Right. Well, all right. That's it. This is, once again, it just seems like we're headed for another collision, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk a little sports with Tommy Hicks. And we are back with the lovely and talented Tommy Hicks. I know, Tommy, you're a big golfer, so you're probably excited about Longleaf Golf Course.
Yeah, Longleaf Golf Course in Spanish Fork off of 225. It's been there really since this course started becoming a development around 2005.
Okay.
And Jan Stevenson, if you will recall, the big LPGA star from a few years ago, she was part of
her name.
The group that was bringing it here. And then right at the last minute, the big financial backer stepped away.
Uh-oh.
Another group bought it, and then they just kind of waited. And the course has been out there. It's been playable for people who are working on the course now. They've been playing the course for more than a year.
Well, that gives them no incentive to finish then.
Exactly right. They've got their own private little place. But it's a beautiful property, 18-hole course. It's already got the highest rating as the most difficult course in the state.
Really?
They have a rating called 75 rating, which is the score a professional golfer would score on that course from the back tees.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's 3 over par out there. That means welcome. Yeah. They've got 95 bunkers. You do the math, that's about 5.5 a hole. That's a lot of sand.
Yeah.
And it's uphill, it's long, it's going to be a challenge for a lot of players.
You're looking forward to playing it?
I hope to play it at some point, yes. It's going to be what I was told when it's supposed to open June 1 to the public. I believe that after a certain time, if they get a certain number of members, then it will become strictly a private course.
Okay.
They got lots for sale in the area, so they're building memberships that way. But you're looking at probably 125 to 130 green fee play.
Wow.
So pretty serious.
Or you can just go out on the beach and hit your ball into some sand.
You could do that,
yeah,
and maybe get a whale and end up on sand.
There you go.
That'd be
happen.
But it's a real nice property. It's going to a lot of it's coming along where time here with golf. You got Timber Creek going under renovation. You got Heron Lakes going under renovation. You got Cypress Creek being built again. The former Linksman, Azalea City's even had some work. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the golf community in the next 6-7 months.
Okay. All right. You said 6-7. By the way, I'm not going to go into that. Okay. Baseball playoffs. They're happening.
They are happening. We got 12 teams from this area and from our coverage area that are will start this weekend. Probably two biggest matchups. The Battle of O'Shell Road will take a little extension into the playoffs. St. Paul's is playing at UMS on Friday. 2 games on Friday. If a third is needed, they'll play Saturday. These are all best of 3 series throughout the playoffs in baseball. Another one is McGill is playing at Saraland. That's, again, a doubleheader Friday, if game on Saturday. Okay. So it's getting down to let's see who's going to make it to the state championships, if anybody.
And then the Jags saw one of their players vamoose to Auburn.
Yeah, didn't move far away, but moved up to the SEC. Adam Olson, who was number 2 scorer for South this year. He has spent his first 2 years. He's from Canada. He played in British Columbia. They brought him in. He was here for a year. 6'8" guy that can hit from pretty much anywhere on the floor. And pretty good around the basket as well. So going to be a good addition. What's interesting is that Auburn has signed 2 guys this past week from the Sun Belt. They also got a 6A player from Troy. So they've added to their, through the transfer portal. So big loss for South, but they've already signed like 4 guys out of the portal themselves, including the NAIA All-American. So they're trying to, make up for what's lost. That's the way of the world.
Got to take advantage
of athletics now, especially in basketball.
If you're losing, you got to make somebody else lose. And then the Spring Hill will have announced their new coach.
Yep.
By the time we play this on Thursday.
Yes, you will find that John Redmond, who a lot of people here in Mobile know, he went to school at Spanish Ford. He played for a year at Spring Hill and had an injury, and then became a student coach for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then after he graduated, he was at Dalton State as an assistant. He was a coach at St. Paul's for a year. He was head coach there for the boys team. He's also been at Delta State and most recently Northwest Mississippi Community College. So good hire for Spring Hill, bringing a guy who's obviously familiar with the school and with the area. He'll do a good job, I think. That'll be an interesting hire.
And then, do we have a world champion boxer locally?
We do. We do have a world champion, Rowan Javier Sanchez.
Yes.
Super lightweight champion. He had a 6-2-3 record. He went to Connecticut,
and you gave him very little chance.
I did.
Thing. You didn't think he was going to.
Well, I went by record alone. I hadn't seen him play.
He was going against an undefeated guy, wasn't he?
He was. The guy was 11-0 with 8 knockouts.
Yes.
That he fought, and the guy was from Connecticut. I mean, so it's a hometown fight for him, but in the 3rd round, Sanchez hit him with a right cross, and that was that. I mean, he went straight down and they took him away on a stretcher.
They had to haul the guy away.
Yeah, they did.
They had to give him last rights.
Well, I don't think they did that.
Right.
They may have given him maybe rights.
And Ash, this week you had, I think Patrick McEnroe took up your challenge on some of the tennis stuff, right?
Yes, this is my new personal mission. No, we talked about how like all of the college scholarships for tennis go to international students, and he tweeted something out. He was watching the college, just like
the SEC and ACC, right?
Yeah, SEC and ACC, and of the 12 players I think it was even more. I don't have it, but maybe it's like 16 players, and it was only 3 Americans in the SEC and ACC championships.
Right. Yeah.
And so he was like, this is just, we're never going to develop American tennis if we're doing this. What is their path? And he was like, this has got to change, and so they were, he was just, maybe that we could put quotas on it that, maybe say half the roster, at least half the roster has to be American.
It's definitely
but it's not just it's tennis, but it's creeping into everything. Basketball is the one when that starts happening, that's when people will probably care. But
everything,
but it's already starting to happen. The European basketball players.
But I mean, as we've pointed out before, most of these, when you have the ACC versus SEC, most of those teams are public schools.
Right.
They are publicly supported state schools that billions of tax dollars go into.
Yes. Yeah.
And
on state and federal levels.
And
they
American
get federal
kids,
funding and
American kids can't get on the team.
no.
So
Yes.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a crusade for you to be on. I like it. I think I agree with you on it. It's worthwhile.
I'm making American tennis American.
You're making tennis
American
great again.
College sports American.
You're Matka. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more. And we are back. Grant, this past week we had one of the great moments in jurisprudence. We had the freeing of Renee Gamble, a.k.a. the inflatable penis lady in Fairhope.
Right. Renee Gamble is swinging free.
She is swinging free. She got off. What other disgusting?
What else can we say?
Double entendres do you have?
I think Kyle should ring in.
So the judge found her. Basically, the judge said he couldn't find any way to find her guilty on this thing. They went on for hours with witnesses, mostly Andrew Babb, who was the police officer who arrested Renee. Colonel Andrew Babb.
That's
I didn't know they had colonels in the police department, but he's a colonel. Yes.
Whatever. So in the end of it, he just didn't believe that the city's case was strong enough for them to actually move forward with charging her. Judge Hames Snedeker.
Yes.
And it was quite the scene walking out of the courtroom because so none of us were allowed to have our cell phones in there, which is pretty normal for court. And she told me, I'm going to give y'all one statement as soon as this is over, and then I'm not saying anything else. And so I booked it back to my car, grabbed my cell phone, almost fell over. And then I get there, I just almost throw the phone at her. And then she just waves her hands up. It's like, freedom, free, we are free in Fairhope.
Heroically captured this. I'm glad you made it.
I was like, oh my God. I was out of breath. I really need to work out more. And
if that's putting you out, you may need to getting your phone and running from your car. You may need to work on it
may need to run a little more
cardio.
But it was crazy. The inside the courtroom, Babs was on there for over an hour. And at some point, David Guestpass, the attorney for Renee, really cornered him and finally got him to admit that he at the time of him arresting Renee, he did not know whether she was attempting to comply with his order, which was to either leave or take the costume off.
Yeah.
When she left, he had never said she was being detained, never under arrest, and he did not know that what she was going to do. And that I think that ultimately I think that ended up being the cornerstone of Snedeker's decision.
Well, we're glad she's free. It's a First Amendment issue. I think it's one of those things that I think
the costume's off, and I think she's going to disappear into the Halloween store from where she came.
Will deflate there. I think
freeballing.
There we go. There we go. Okay, it's just devolving now at this point, and then on Friday we also had you guys did some work on the ethics commission. You interviewed some of the ethics commissioners. We had the day before that, Tom Albritton, the executive director of the Alabama Ethics Commission, resigned from the Mabel Amos Memorial Fund, which I've written 10,000 stories about. And I'm not going to go back over what all that's about because
They're all
I'm
on the
sick
website,
of talking about it.
You can read them all there.
But let's just say that he has been accused of self-dealing and fraud, and he finally, after 5 years of this and 4 years of a lawsuit, he resigned. And you guys called some of these ethics commissioners, who are his bosses technically, and asked them what they thought about it.
Yeah.
What did they think about it?
Huh?
What?
Who?
The what?
The huh?
There was a what? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we only got 3 out of 5.
Right.
We called them all. We tried to get in touch with all of them, but we only got 3 out of the 5. And this was very shocking news to them that they had never heard of and didn't care to have an opinion
They've
on.
never heard. These guys who are on the Ethics Commission have never heard of this story that's been going on for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And
Something
about
that
the executive director.
Certain, a Google search.
That's what I was going to say.
The executive director of the Ethics Commission is being accused of all this behavior. Got his kids $135,000 worth of scholarship money from a charitable trust, and they've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. They never heard of it. But as one commissioner told me, I've never heard of this, but it seems like we might talk about it at our next meeting, maybe.
Well, I can tell you without doubt, the interesting part of all that is that David Dodd, who is the chairman of the commission, is the brother of a guy who was representing the attorney general in the case.
Yeah. His brother was involved in the case.
Brother and law partner in a 3-man law firm whose brother represented the state in this case for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think he knows about it.
He might know something.
I think he's aware of it. They paid that law firm $150,000 over that course of time that came into his law firm. I bet he knows about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Stands to reason.
It stands to reason.
Yeah.
But so the chairman of this commission has apparently not enlightened the other ones.
Well, we talked to the 3 newest ones, right?
Yeah. Most of them are pretty brand new. I think Dodd has been on there the longest. He's been, 2 years maybe?
Dodd's been on there a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's,
they appointed him in the middle of all this while his brother was serving while his brother was representing the state. Then Nathaniel Ledbetter picked this guy's brother, David Dodd,
because they're all from Fort Payne,
appointed him to put him on the commission that clear conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, absolute conflict of interest. And then when we wrote a story about it, then Alan Dodd resigned from the lawsuit. Yeah. So
but these new guys, we talked to Greg Pappas, who's been on there for couple months. We talked to George Pierce, who's been on there for even less than that.
Chips Pruitt.
And Chips Pruitt, who has also been on there for even less time than the last 2 guys. They're all brand new members of the commission. Like Ashley said, this could easily be found on a Google Ethics Commission,
I think you might,
Alabama.
Hey, I'm new on this commission. Maybe let me do a little research on
what's going on. What are some of the ethical issues in this state
what's happening right now?
I will give George Pierce credit. He said he was vaguely familiar with the lawsuit, but it's just it's a pretty big issue for Mr. Albritton, and I would think that a board member stepping on to a board would want to know what they're getting into.
You would think. I mean, it seems like something that folks would be aware of, and certainly have been told that this is an issue. But we'll take them at their word on this one. We'll see if anything happens from it.
It was Albritton's statement back eventually. He eventually got a statement back from him.
Yes,
it was that previously reported that they had gotten an opinion from Regions on that.
He has claimed he got an opinion, yes. Gotcha. But when I asked him to provide the opinion, he said that that legal counsel has the opinion.
Gotcha.
Now, he is an attorney himself. So, the question of whether he, the opinion from Regions, I think, probably came from the guy who was on the board with him. So, I don't, this opinion of his friend who gave,
because it was him and 2 other guys on the board, right?
Yeah, yes. I was thinking about that.
One a law partner, and another one a guy living in town.
Andalusia, right?
Yeah,
even with an opinion, like an ethics commissioner or an ethics employee should know avoid appearance of a conflict.
Well, it's an opinion from somebody inside the trust. It's not an opinion from the attorney general or an opinion from the ethics commission.
Yeah, I guess my point is, even if it was a bona fide opinion, I don't see how you could the appearance of evil. The appearance of conflict still doesn't.
Yes, it is. Yes, all those issues, and it says clearly in the documents forming the trust that there's no self-dealing allowed. So anyway,
because this trust was for like low income, underprivileged young people to go to college.
That's correct. Correct. Yeah. So, well, we'll see if anything new comes of it. I hope one of these days soon we're going to see the list of people who got the $4 million worth of scholarships they doled out. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. Well, that's all we have this week, folks. We will see you all next Thursday for the next Lagnapod. Thanks for listening.
The Lagnapod is a Something Extra publishing production. Executive producers are Rob Holbert and Ashley Trice. Music is by Some Pulse Sounds and Electro Animals. Only subscribers like you have access to this podcast. Tell your friends they can sign up at my.lanyapmobile.com. For advertising opportunities, please call 251-450-4466.